Government again set up another working committee headed by Mr. Emmanuel Ijewere, a tax consultant, to produce a blueprint for the implementation of Dr. Ugo's recommendation. Government's acceptance of Mr. Ijewere's report led to the restructuring of the Nigerian tax system and administration at the federal level.
Value tax, it's less punitive, less intrusive, and it's one that you in fact choose. It's a tax of choice. If you choose to pay the tax, then you buy those things that are vatable. So the Nigerian government now took a decision in principle, but the next thing was to set up a committee. And so we had a committee, the NVAT committee. Our first job was to report to the federal government whether Nigeria was ready for value-added tax or not. And we spent the first 3 months working on that. And we wrote our report and presented a report to the federal government saying that, yes, unlike the kind of information the federal government had which frightened them about the riots in Senegal, in South Africa, and a number of other countries, that we don't think we should have that kind of riot in Nigeria. We should not run away from what is good for Nigeria. South Africa, for example, South Africa was starting with a position of 20% value-added tax. We thought that was excessive, but that was enough to provoke people. There were a lot of riots, and I think about 10 people died on that. And in Senegal, it was less bloody, but there was a lot of riot there too. The government there was starting with 12.5%. All these informed us, and having told the government that it's a good idea and it can be done, the government now changed our mandates to tell them the modalities for implementing this. Went to the second level, went around the whole country 3 times. Visited 8 countries in the world who have the same kind of economic level as Nigeria. And that was how it all eventually.
Alhaji Ibrahim Zukogi succeeded Mr. Nayeju in 1999 and served until 2001. His tenure saw the implementation of the newly introduced value-added tax regime.
I started as the chairman of Federal Inland Revenue, and it coincided with much of this, what you call the reform. The reform started a long time, much long time ago. And it was pioneered by Mr. Nayeju. Some of us were directors. And during the period, one of the first and foremost was to see that at least they were working toward the autonomy. But I was a loner. I never liked that autonomy. My reasons being, if you look at the most of the institutions like Inland Revenue, which have the autonomy, you can always associate the number of the turnover of the head of those institutions with the number of the turnover of the ministers. And under that kind of circumstances, while I was the chairman, I didn't think I missed anything in terms of that autonomy. Minister of Finance had never. So you cannot develop more than the society you are in. The autonomy is good, yes, but what of this? The side effect of those autonomy? I was thinking it would be much earlier and later on, after we have grown as a nation and democratization at a certain stage. But the way and manner this present administration has done it, I think you need a kudo, and we need to, because we work hard also, but we didn't get it.
Malam Balama Manu took over from Alhaji Zukogi as the chairman, Federal Inland Revenue Service, in 2001 and was in office till 2004. Malam Balama Manu came to the Federal Inland Revenue Service from the banking sector where information technology is taken for granted. He was astounded to observe that the work environment and the tools appeared more like relics from the colonial past. It dawned on him that for the service to deliver on its mandate, the tools and work environment must be upgraded. It is to Malam Manu's credit that he initiated the transformation strategy that led to the total overhaul of the work environment and the computerization of the service to enhance the quality of service delivery. In this regard also, 2 large tax offices were created. The Tax Audit Branch and Petroleum and Pioneer Offices were subsequently relocated from Mapoloko and Bishop Oluwole Street, Victoria Island, to a modernized environment complete with cutting-edge technology